Hello guys, it's almost like 10 at night. I would say that I would not have read today's newspaper, but since I've started the YouTube channel, I am going to read it. And that was the sole purpose of starting this channel, to make my newspaper reading regular. So now let's begin with the Hindu. So there is little change that I'm going to do of the method. Instead of me reading the entire sentence, I will first read the newspaper, the clipping, and then I would read myself the newspaper clipping, and then I will speak out the summary, because the first newspaper reading that I've done, after that I really had a bad throat, so I'll be reading the newspaper myself, and then I'll speak out the summary of the article. So let's begin. So Revant gets notice over doctored video of Shah. This is a political news. We are not going to be reading it. GDS get set to suspend Hassan MP Prajwal over video scandal. Political news. Water right. Vehicles wade through a waterlogged road on the banks of Dal Lake after heavy rainfall in Srinagar on Monday. So there's been rainfall in Srinagar, and this word, it tells us about the word waterlogged road. Nice word, waterlogged road, to define the rainwater collected on the streets, making it difficult to drive. Next we have this: Jaya Ranjan escapes CPI report names Indian official in Panun case. We'll see in on page 14, and this is IPL not needed. So non-cooperation with ED not a ground for arrest. We'll see what this is. This is still political, but we'll see what is this later. So let's see in brief only here, so there'll be no need of reading the entire article on page 10. So I'll be reading it in my mind, and then I'll speak out the summary. So here, this is the statement said by Arvind Kejriwal that non-cooperation with ED cannot be a ground for arrest. In earlier newspaper, we came to know that in spite of many warnings or applications made by ED to Arvind Kejriwal to appear before it, but he did not appear, and then ED arrested because he was not responding to the ED summons. Yes, so ED summons, he was not responding to that, so he was arrested. So in response, Arvind Kejriwal said that non-cooperation with ED cannot be a ground for arrest. Next is Sandesh Kali case. Supreme Court questions Bengal government for approaching it. So let's see, this is not political, let's see. This does not seem to be important. From the exam point of view, it just is talking about that the Supreme Court Supreme Court wondered why the state of West Bengal, that is, I think the government of West Bengal, has to come up to Supreme Court. So the state of West Bengal objected or the state of West Bengal went to the Supreme Court. Objecting what? Objecting means not agreeing to, or the state of West Bengal did not like the CBI probe. Probe means investigation into the allegations of sexual assault and forcible land grabbing of Sandesh Khali by suspended Trinamool Congress leader. So there is someone by the name of Sandesh Khali, and this person experienced sexual assault and forcible land grabbing by suspended leader. So now the CBI is making investigation into the case. So the West Bengal state is objecting the CBI investigation into the case. That is it. So this is, I don't think, needed. Next is Delhi police out, CISF takes over parliament security. ये क्या हुआ है, देखते हैं. So this was the case where when the new parliamentary building was inaugurated in December 13, there were two men who were carrying the colorful canisters, and they they interrupted the Lok Sabha chamber when the 0-hour session was going on, and they came there to protest against the rising unemployment. There were more issues like unending violence, Manipur mein, or farmers issue. So these were the issues. These were the issue. So the policemen who did not pay much attention, and they let those people, these 6 people, enter, have been suspended. This is not much important. This is not so important. Indore Congress candidate pulls out of Lok Sabha race, join BJP, not needed. So after this we will move on to the editorial section. Yeah. So what is the editorial section talking about? Matters of heartland. Livelihood issues compete with caste and religion identities in campaigning. What does it mean? Let's see. The Hindi heartland. I think the people who speak in Hindi, they decide who will form the government in Delhi. I think this is completely political, so I don't think it is like needed. The EVM VVPAT case judgment is disappointing. What is this like? Let's see this first. Trying for a repeat, India is looking to defend its astonishing title win in men's badminton. Not like really needed. ये देखते हैं. Oh, so in 1897, the House of Representatives of the US, that is in USA, they passed a bill to legislatively, means legally, establish the true value of pi to be 3.20. We study in school, it's 3.147, I think. So this person, Edward Goodwin, had claimed to have solved a complex problem known as squaring the circle, and to solve that problem, he assumed the value of pi to be 3.20. Stalled मतलब stopped by Indiana Senate. That means they didn't allow passing the rule due to the efforts of some CA, Waldo, and Indiana was saved from embarrassment. That it's embarrassing कि ऐसे कैसे suggest कर सकते हो ये value. So ये point क्या है इसका? Science, maths or statistics truths cannot be established by fiats of the executive, parliament and judiciary. So ये कह रहा है कि my point in narrating what this anecdote was meant for, that in field of science, maths, statistics, truths cannot be established by fiats of executive, parliament or judiciary. Fiats means order. arbitrary order. Or let's say order. So in these cases, truths cannot be established by it. Like water, like if anything, parliaments cannot make facts untrue. Like water runs downhill, not uphill. So if parliament says water runs uphill, then it is true. No. Parliament cannot legislate, like cannot make a law that water will run uphill. It's not the nature, it's not true, it's not a fact. So similarly, like Supreme Court cannot arbitrarily mandate. Arbitrarily mandate means it is like ऐसे ही करके ज़रूरी बोलना. क्या एक यूनिफॉर्म सैम्पल साइज़, कितना साइज़ सैम्पल साइज़ 5 इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वोटिंग मशीन्स का पर असेंबली कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी. 5 EVM पर असेंबली कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी काफ़ी है. किस चीज़ के लिए काफ़ी है? फॉर वोटर वेरीफाइबल पेपर ऑडिट ट्रेल बेस्ड ऑडिट ऑफ EVMs. यानी कि ऑडिट चल रही होगी EVM की कि अच्छे से रिकॉर्ड कर रही हैं कि नहीं, कितने लोगों ने वोट करा वगैरह वगैरह. तो 5 EVM पर असेंबली कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी को चेक करके ये बोलना कि ऑडिट अच्छे से चल रही है, ये सही बात नहीं है. ये जो 5 जो इन्होंने दे रखा है ना सुप्रीम कोर्ट में, ये सही फिगर नहीं है जो दे रखा है. ये जो वोटर वेरिफिकेशन ऑफ VVPAT स्लिप्स, दिस इंश्योर्स दैट कि हाँ एक वोट तो कास्ट हुआ है, पर ये नहीं बताता है कि वो रिकॉर्ड हुआ है कि नहीं. हमेशा ही कोई रिस्क रहता है, छोटा ही सही मैल फंक्शन और मैनिपुलेशन हो सकता है. सो इस चीज़ को इंश्योर करने के लिए क्या करें कि EVM मैल फंक्शन और मैनिपुलेशन ना हो. वी शुड like tally EVM count. The voting machine itself has counted that with the manual count of VVPAT slips, and this should be done based on significant sample size of EVMs. Like good number of EVM should be selected per constituency, per assembly constituency. Like 5 is a very small number. So I think rest of it is not needed. We have actually got the essence of what it is trying to say. Like this can be this issue can be solved through EVM counting and manual counting. Tally, we'll do the tally, and a good number of EVM machines should be selected for doing this, the tally. Okay, so rest of all I'm cutting, और ये छोड़ देते हैं, ये पढ़ लेते हैं. रीजंस बिहाइंड द ECI, Election Commission of India's claim. The ECI has claimed that there was not a single instance of mismatch in all these years. So it's saying that the sample size they have this. So the Election Commission of India was saying that in this method which is done, like the audit which is done of 5 EVMs per assembly constituency. So इनमें कभी भी कोई they did not find any error. So the writer of this article is saying that because they have selected a very small sample size, so there is like the probability that how can an error emerge. And fine fatal का मतलब means healthy. EVMs are in fine fatal, which is what the Supreme Court said. So this is not good. I don't think itna needed होगा. Not needed. So ये we read this. So India needs a statistically sound VVPAT based system of EVM audit which can detect instances of mismatch with 99% or 99.9% accuracy and done at beginning of the counting day. So it's voter verifiable. So VVPAT का full form is voter verifiable paper audit trail. That's it. No need. So what the next article says, courts nudge on hospital charges, a reform opportunity. So the Supreme Court, while hearing bill in February this year, directed the central government to find ways to regulate the rates of hospital procedures in private sector. So here there was a bill filed and the Supreme Court in response to the bill directed that the central government has to regulate the rates of these hospital procedures in the private sector. In the public sector, for example, the treatment of cataract surgeries are 10,000, the price for that, and in private it is 30,000 to 1,40,000. So benchmarking for price has to be done, right? So yeah, benchmarking price can be the one solution to the increasing rates of uh, private hospitals. So there is this implementation problem. We have that in India in everything. So what is STG, standard treatment guideline? So due to limited participation of private hospitals, so there was lack of representative and accurate data. No, not that important. Like, you can remember the points only. It's not that important. Letters to the editor. This is a very political. We look at the importable. So like this says that we are importing how much 8 major industrial sector products. So it is telling about what happens to the Make in India program. Like if we are importing so much, what good has Make in India program done then? And here it says that the past was better because we had the best muslin cloth, linen cloth. This material was very good during the old days, and now what we are doing, we are importing textiles. So the old times were better. not important. So this is also like not that important. So next we'll go on to the opinion section. Pulling out all the stops in Kerala. This is political. So the poultry industry needs urgent reforms. So I think here is a summary. India's environmental laws and regulations must reflect what the public health crisis is showing us, that animal welfare is closely interlinked with public health, ecosystem health, and biodiversity conservation. So let's see the first. So the antibiotics, non-therapeutic antibiotics, or the antibiotics that are given, like so much antibiotics are given, you will become resistant to those antibiotics, and the living conditions are also very unhygienic. The Indian poultry, the article is talking about. If the living place of the poultry animals are open, cleaner, and ventilated, like well spaced, there is proper ventilation, then there is no need for them to be on constant antibiotics, and so their eggs laying will be good, and their meat will also be safer for consumption. So like if we'll take care of the animals, then the food like egg we take from the animal, or even we can say the milk, that will also be good, and like if like meat from them will also be good. So the poultry industry has been labeled as highly polluting orange category industry. This can be a line to write. Hmm. So then like bird flu was very bad, climate emergency, the air is polluted, so there is a need to severely address this issue. Not very important. Yeah, so this is important, this is very important. Before that, let's see from the archives. not important. Yeah, this is important. The rising share of the personal income tax and indirect tax is a concern. So recent data show that the personal income tax collection has increased while collection from corporate taxes have reduced. That is, the taxes that we collect from the corporates, they have reduced. So first let's understand the charts. So corporate tax and personal income tax. So the revenue collected from this corporate tax, like it was very high during like 20 between 2009 and 14, and now during this time, that is I think during the COVID times, the government may have provided certain relaxations to the companies, because of which there is a drop, and after that they again rose and then again they fall. So now personal income tax is rising. So like here though it's showing that direct tax is less and indirect tax is more. So this is the return filed and this is the amount of income tax paid. Achha, from 1 to 5 people who are having 1 to 5 lakh income, 53.78% have filed the income and 17.73% tax has been collected. So most of the tax has been collected from the people who are having annual income of greater than 50 lakh, and like least tax has been collected from people who are having income between 25 to 50 lakh. Like very less number of people are having this much of income. So UAE made 0%. The here we are talking about what we are talking about. We are talking about the income tax rate, effective personal income tax rate. So India ka 42.7% is the effective personal income tax rate, and South Africa and China have the maximum, and India also has like very big percentage of tax imposed on people. Then UAE has nil personal income tax, effective personal income tax rate. Okay, so there is no need to like discuss these. We'll be reading this. So it's mostly political. So yeah, there is just the explanation of the charts given, which I have told. So next we move on to the science and tech. Yeah, the physics and the maths of keeping elections fair and representative. Then we have China all set to launch mission to far side of the moon. Chemical weapons of the Vietnam War, which ended 49 years ago. No need. We'll first do this. This is the China rocket launcher piece. Robotic spacecraft to the moon's far side and the first of the three technically demanding missions. So from this article we come to know that China is planning to launch a spacecraft, a rocket on moon's far side, that is on the lunar south pole. So China had brought back the spacecraft that it sent to the earth with the samples. So it's doing very well in the space. So it will collect what? Collect soil and rocks from the side of the moon that permanently faces away from the earth. Never before attempted ascent from the moon's hidden side on its return home journey. NASA cannot do any collaboration with China, direct or indirect. So this is like the South Pole has been described by the scientists as the golden belt for lunar exploration. So polar ice could sustain long term research bases without relying on expensive resources transported from earth. So yeah, now we move on to the physics and the maths of keeping elections fair and representative. I think so. With mathematical analysis, while mathematical analysis helps sharpen an algorithm for the election, the physics perspective can diagnose if it is fairly implemented in practice. So, maths will tell, it will sharpen the algorithm, physics will make sure that is implemented fairly. जी तो छोड़ ही देते हैं. This first past the post we have in quality. Let's see. So today's social choice theorist and mathematicians who study election called this approval voting system followed by a random choice. See, I have not done this first pass the post. So like I'll be first doing it from Lakshmikant and then I'll understand this and then I'll read it. I've read it before. I've not revised what is first past the post. I knew the meaning earlier. No, I'm not aware. I have to recall. So I'll read it first the meaning and then I'll read the article. Okay. No need. No need. No need. Elections. Just this entire page of election. Not important. Not important. Not important. Today I think so 22 pages the newspaper. Yeah, so let's get to not so there has has been a torrential. This is the right word. You should refer very, very heavy rainfall as torrential rain. So in Kenya, there is dam burst, heat wave. Bangladesh, there is heat wave. They have to close schools. So G7 में बोल रहे हैं कि first half of the 2030s में they'll phase out the coal-fired power plants. Okay. Not important. Not important. So Tesla visits China. Tesla owner visits China. Not important. Not important. Also not important. So let's see the business page. This is, I think, important. GDP growth may surpass 7% this year. The central bank has estimated GDP growth rate to be 7% for 24-25, like this current year, current financial year. Indian economy means it will do well. This is what it says. So in service sector, definitely the service sector of India has grown over years, but there is still like lack of skilled talent, resource stress in key hubs like Bangalore. Like limited resources are available. We should not take the service export sector for granted just because it's doing so well. So you have to like train your people according to the changing needs. Like resources are limited in places where there is a boom of the service sector, like Bangalore. Mm, very business type of news. Okay, so yeah. Not important. Oh, Indian Ocean much warmer. There is a new thing I'm hearing for the first time: marine heat waves. There's this heat waves will uh, cyclones will increase 20 days per year now, almost more than half a year or 3/4 of the year there'll be cyclones. So like heat warming of the Indian Ocean. Okay, its main reason here they have written mostly because of global warming. So here if this is the ocean, so when there is like heat, we assume that the topmost part will become the hottest, but it is saying that the entire ocean is becoming hot. Something about Hiroshima, very technical terms, no need. Cut. Yeah. So the paradox of the thrift: does a rise in saving cause a fall in investment? Thrift means कंजूस होना, कंजूसपन कह सकते हैं. पैराडॉक्स ऑफ द थ्रिफ्ट: does a rise in saving, we are saving so much, cause a fall in the investment? Keynesian economists argue that a rise in individual saving by reducing the amount of money that is spent on final goods and services can in effect cause a significant fall in the overall savings and investment. Like when you're saving so much, your savings will reduce. So this is what is known as paradox. The paradox of saving, also known as paradox of thrift: refers to the theory that a rise in the saving rate of individual can surprisingly cause a fall in rather than increase in the overall saving rate. So I'm going to be writing this. This is the nice word that I can use in my exam. Paradox of saving. और पैराडॉक्स ऑफ थ्रिफ्ट इकोनॉमिक्स में यूज़ हो सकता है. इसका मतलब है द मोर आई सेव द लेस विल बी माई सेविंग्स. This is in contrast to the general belief rise in individual saving rate calls in rise in the overall saving. So even though saving may be good for an individual household, it may not be good for the wider economy. Because there will be like underconsumption, which attribute to weak consumption, which attribute economic downturns to weak consumption and high savings. Underconsumption. Criticism of the idea. So critics who like don't believe in this idea. Some will argue, some will not argue, but yeah, this is true, because if you're like saving so much, or you are keeping, for example, two ways of saving. You can see you're either keeping it at your home mein it is not earning any interest, and the inflation is rising. So here inflation is rising and here you are earning zero, so that means this is depreciating only. There is no saving. Also, if you have like depositing in your bank, so inflation is rising at this rate and your bank is offering you this much rate of interest, then it is again like you're losing out this much portion. So got to invest in a proper place so that you are able to beat the inflation. So now text in context. Why are unclassed forests missing? We needing the gist. Like they are missing. This is what the gist is saying. Why Venice charging entry fees for tourists? How have local residents association responded to the move? Is overcrowding a significant issue in the city? Yeah. This word is overcrowding is important. Like to prevent overcrowding, entry fees is imposed. So day tripper coming to the city between are now required to pay 5. Overnight visitors are not charged because generally people don't come overnight. Over tourism is a problem in many cities. Yeah, over tourism. This is important in Venice, definitely such a beautiful place. So yeah. Over tourism causes harm to the ecosystem. just managed to avoid. So in my this diary, I'm going to be writing over tourism in Venice, plus entry fees for tourists. Yeah, like you got only this part. Then this we have done. This we have done. This we have done. Yeah, let me underline. Yes. Yeah. Water verifiable paper audit trail. Yeah. So expert panel favors reopening of elephant corridors, shifting Chinnakanal colonies. Yeah, in the places like mostly the south, the animal and the human, so there is like interaction would happen and one of them would get killed, mostly the people. So like there has to be some regulation made. There is attack. So they are thinking to reopen. Yeah, so the solution, they are fencing the ration shop. That is what they are thinking about. Electrocuting the ration shops, installing solar fence to prevent the animals to attack. Not electrocuting, it's installing solar fence. Yeah, preventing such animals to reach human habitat. Like capturing is not right. लाइक एक को तो हटा देंगे, बाकी आ जाएंगे फिर. So like removal of the one can't be a solution. To put like one to relocating it to some other place, some other animal will come the next day. So yeah. So yeah, not much is done. Not much is there. there is Kashmir mein there is landslide, flooding, rain and fresh snowfall has caused havoc. So many lines. No need. Yeah. Yeah, now like Arvind Kejriwal is under uh, ED custody. So now it is on to Arvind uh, Kejriwal whether he will continue to be the um, this Chief Minister of Delhi. It's on to Arvind Kejriwal whether he will continue to be the Chief Minister of Delhi. So yeah, it's not that important. I guess we are done with the Hindu newspaper. Now let's quickly glimpse through the explained portion of Indian Express. Oh, history of Lok Sabha elections. But I don't think it's needed. China has built a submarine, diesel electric submarine, to be used by Pakistan Navy. Okay, now let's just glimpse through the newspaper. Political. Yeah, petrol to online checks. Cops crack down on deal makers. Yeah, bad. Yeah, this I think we missed. Yeah, there are these misleading claims. So I guess we are done for the day, and yeah, so I think it almost takes like 1 hour and 30 minutes every day to complete it, to complete newspaper reading. And I'll like be more thorough with the syllabus so as to know what all topics are there, so that accordingly I can skip some more news in the newspaper. So yeah, I will completed reading today's newspaper. Thank you.